so many books. Today's video, oh yeah, hello everyone, Stephanie here. Today's video is going to be a discussion. I know I've talked about this topic lightly or maybe in a different context. I've talked about ratings in the past. If this is repetitive of me, forgive me. But I just really want to talk about it. I haven't done a discussion in a really long time. And I have grown as a person. And I feel like this is great for my younger self. And just for people who are younger. Or just for people who are bitter, cruel, and unhappy in their lives. Who review books. Let's talk about it, shall we? So, my issue is, there's a line. There's a line when you're reviewing books. This side is I have constructive criticism, and yes, I really hated the book, but like, I'm still being nice. And this is I have no self-worth, and I want to tear every fucking person down. Those are the two sides of the spectrum. I do not understand. I literally cannot comprehend. This is like the same thing like when someone is commenting on someone's video. Why did you watch the video if you hate them that much? You're giving them money, so I mean, like, good for them. But what do you gain from it? What are you hoping to get from it? Why does someone need to go onto an author's book that, you know, maybe you really just hated it, right? But you're like, I do not understand how this person writes books. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is for the garbage, and that they're a piece of shit. And oh my God, look at everything that they talk about here, here, and here. But I can't believe they offer services like that when look at the crap that they're publishing. That is unnecessary. Like, it really is not. It doesn't matter whether your opinion is going to affect someone else or not. What is the purpose of saying stuff like that? And I have probably said stuff like that in the past too, where I cannot believe this book was published. Sometimes I still agree with those things, but I'm not there saying the author's an absolute piece of shit. You know, they need to take their own advice, or they need to stick to a day job and all this other stuff. No, they still worked on it. How it got published, I don't know. But even then, I still don't say things like that anymore. I'm just like, Stephanie, that was even just like not necessary. I could give a 1-star review like, this book was not for me. I thought it was horrible. I didn't like this, and this about it. But if you are interested in it, please go and read it. And you guys know I'm like that. I would never say, don't read a book because I think it's a piece of crap. So that's another thing. I'm very much especially over the last, I feel like, year or two, I find reason with everything, but there's no need to be so grotesque. Like, there really isn't. Why do you want people also, even if you do not care about the author, obviously, because you wrote that, don't you care about yourself and how uneducated you seem? Because when you're ranting about something like that, right? Like, you're ranting and it's not even about the cursing. It's just what you're meaning behind it, what you're throwing to the author. Like, don't you care about how people might see you as? Because if I see a comment like that, I'm going to think you're uneducated, because there is not one speck of actual constructive criticism in your ridicule towards this author. Unless you're like, you know, sometimes you see that where it's like, oh my God, the world building was an absolute piece of crap, but then they start going into this rant of let me tear down the other person as much as I possibly can, and then I lose what they say. But at least they had like a hint of constructive criticism. But then you see these other people on Goodreads or on videos, or mainly on Goodreads, that's my thing, where they are literally just bashing the author. Like, I'm pretty sure some of those people who write some of these absolute horrible things that give a 1-star review haven't even actually read the book, and they just do not like the author, and they're here like, I'm gonna go and like lower their Goodreads overall rating. That's not necessary. It really isn't. Like, why do you want to put such bad energy out there? That's all you're doing. All you're asking for is bad karma. All you're doing is trying to tear down someone, regardless of whether you read the book or not. It's not necessary to be such a gross human. You can tell the person how crappy you think their book is without personal attacks behind it. You can tell them, I really think you need to work on your plotting because there are some plot holes. Instead of telling them that they should not be authors, that they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that. Because at the end of the day, everyone has different tastes. We don't like the same stuff. You guys know that I tend to dislike a lot of the books that a lot of people think are popular because I find my own personal issues with them. And sometimes the issues I find with them aren't the normal issues seen by other people. And I like a lot of books that people just dislike. I love Matched. I always mention that. I love, the 100 series, even though it's not the greatest book series. Like, I'm very aware of it. I still found it really enjoying. Am I giving it 5 stars? No, they're 3-4 stars book. But they're really enjoyable to me. And I can find happiness in that. Like, I could be like, oh my god, this book was not the greatest, but like, I also loved it at the same time. I'm not going to give it a 5-star. Or I could be like, wow, this book, I really disliked it, but like it deserves a 4-star because I can recognize, okay, it's actually written beautifully. It was just, I had a lot of issues with it, that weren't the technical issues. And that's usually why I will take off a 1-star. But aside from that, I'm ranting now. I just think be more aware of what you're saying. You could hate a book all you want. I'm not telling you not to. But don't cross that line into being a nasty human being. That's what you're going to look like if you're writing like more to the author than you are to the actual work at hand. You could dislike books. You guys know I say it all the time. The one that I'm probably the rudest about would have to be An Ember in the Ashes, because I think just there's way too many similarities for it to be a work of its own. There's too many parallels between that and Red Rising, and that is what I think is horrible. Like, it's almost like borderline plagiarism when you freaking think about it. You're just changing up a bunch of other things, but it's still too similar in my personal opinion. Maybe I am biased because I absolutely love Red Rising. I just couldn't stop comparing the two. Do I think the book should have been published? No, because that's not, I think, the kind of image you'd want to send out there. But I also have not finished reading the book. I do not know how it continues. Take my opinion with a grain of salt, like you should anyone else's. But at the same time, I read 100 pages, but I did not go in and give a review for that book. I did not finish that. If I don't get more than halfway through and I DNF'd it, I will count it like I didn't read it, because I didn't. I need to at least get the majority of the way through before I DNF and say I'm still going to read it. But there is no point in being absolutely disgusting to the author, the one who worked their ass off to write this book, because someone out there is going to love it and is going to enjoy it. That's not your problem, but I'm just saying that. But don't be disgusting. So, were you guys, when you were younger, really harsh and just like nasty when it came, not just like, you weren't just like, oh, this book is a piece of shit, blah, 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 but you were also just nasty to the author when you used to do your Goodreads ratings and stuff? Comment down below, because I know I might have been that way long time ago, and sometimes it sounds like it, but really I try to just, I don't care. I don't even know of some of these authors. I don't know them personally. I don't care to know them personally. I'm reading your work. I want to enjoy your work. If I don't, then I'm talking about your work, but not you as a person. And that's my issue. Why talk about an author in a review when you're talking about the work at hand? So comment down below. Let me know how you feel about this. And the reason why, I should probably say, is this was sparked because I'm not going to say the author's name because I don't want people to go over there and just like troll for no reason. I went to an author who I really enjoy. I've read books of hers in the past, and I went to go add a book to my like to read pile, and I saw some comments that just like broke my heart. I was just like, wow, that is what is wrong with you? That's all I thought about, and it broke my heart, and it just motivates me to want to read her books more because I have read 2 of them. I have enjoyed them. No, they're not the greatest, most professional works of art, but she does it herself, and at the end of the day, I like the stories. I like that they're unique and that they're really fun and captivating. Are they 5 stars? Maybe one day one of them will be. Like, I haven't read the other. The first 2 I read are 3 and 4 star. Something like that. But I enjoyed them. I really, really did. They always make me feel nostalgic. And I'm not saying it's because I like her work that I'm being defensive. It just made me realize that I have seen a lot of that in the past. Like, I've seen it where they attack the author, and I think that's wrong. Like, this is their work. If you want to attack them, go ahead, go on their Instagram or something and be a horrible person there. Although, quite frankly, like, you know, you should have been racist. If you have nothing nice to say, say it, and don't say it at all because you're going to look like a freaking idiot. And there's no need to, like, just spread such hate and just nastiness. So comment down below because you guys know I'm really interested. I will not judge you. At the end of the day, I don't care if you do or you don't. You could be completely honest with me. I would just, like, wish that if you were someone who does write like that, like, just think about what you're doing. Is it necessary? Like, it's not. So, like, really, what do you gain from it? What satisfaction do you get from it? What do you get from having such horrible, negative thoughts in your mind? So, comment down below. I'm really curious. You guys already know my opinion. But I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!